We begin with the rough start to the Memorial Day holiday getaway. Floodwaters closing down a southern highway and that sinkhole opening up at LaGuardia Airport. That's what Will Reeve is this morning. Good morning, Will.
Good morning to you, Michael. Busy morning here at LaGuardia. There are two runways here. And right now, that one behind me out in the distance is the only one that planes can use because they did find that sinkhole here by the other runway yesterday. That led to delays and cancellations. And then in the evening, thunderstorms rolled in, only compounding the problem as the holiday travel rush kicks into high gear. This morning, 45 million Americans facing travel disruptions as they prepare to take to the skies and roads for Memorial Day weekend. New York City's LaGuardia Airport forced to shut down one of its two runways Wednesday after a sinkhole was discovered.
Ground, what happened to the runway 422?
There's a sinkhole.
A giant flashing X positioned on the runway to let pilots know it was out of commission.
Part of the construction project?
I think that's safe to assume that.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Emergency crews scrambling to fix the sinkhole, but the critical runway hazard coupled with thunderstorm concerns creating a perfect storm of travel troubles, prompting airlines to cancel nearly 300 flights at LaGuardia.
It's just really unfortunate. It's out of their control. The sinkhole is kind of crazy. And the weather, it finally became summer.
Nearby at Newark Liberty International Airport, air traffic controllers diverting planes, telling pilots they reached capacity.
The tower just called us and said they cannot take any more airplanes. They are in gridlock tonight.
And today marks the busiest day for travel this holiday weekend. 54,000 flights projected to take off, and the TSA is expected to screen more than 18 million passengers and crew through next week. This despite the cost of airfare increasing by 20% from this time last year. And this American Airlines flight behind me is headed to Miami in just a little bit, carrying 170 of the 4.2 million people that American Airlines expects to fly between today and next Tuesday. They say they're ready for the holiday travel rush, which kicks off what they're calling the busiest summer in the airline's history. As far as that sinkhole and when that runway might be reopened, they're expecting sometime around midday, which should clear up those delays here, guys.
We hope that will be the case. Can you imagine someone looking out their window and going, is that Will Reeve? Is that Will Reeve working at the airport? Yeah, give him a wave to Miami. Thank you, Will. Now, the roads, where tens of millions of Americans won't just be facing traffic, but also some of the highest gas prices of the year. Stephanie Ramos joins us with more on that. Good morning to you, Stephanie.
Robin, good morning. Here's a look at what to expect this Memorial Day weekend when it comes to the roads, with 39 million Americans expected to drive. Right now in New York City, take a live look over the area. You can see traffic is moving, but it is heavy, and that shot is from our New York station WABC's helicopter. But this is expected for this time in the morning. AAA says this holiday will see a slight increase in road travel compared to last year, but also higher gas prices. The national average is now $4.56 a gallon. Traffic data company INRIX says the worst times to drive will be Thursday and Friday afternoons, especially between 3 and 6 p.m., with major backups expected in cities like New York, Boston, Denver, and Los Angeles. The best bet? Hit the road early in the morning or wait until later at night to avoid the heaviest congestion. Now, if you're driving long distances, experts say plan your gas stops ahead of time. Prices can vary significantly along your route, so filling up smart could actually save you some money. George.
Okay, Stephanie, thanks very much. Ginger's right here. Ginger, we got storms coming and a cool down.
Yes, well, the storms that blew through like Atlanta up through here obviously caused so many problems. We're talking about only 1 to 3 inches of rain, but if you've had a huge drought like in Atlanta, I-75 to side roads were just full of water, and they ended up having water rescues. It was a big problematic day. And then there were more than 80 severe storm reports with the damaging wind that blew through. This is Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Huge tree into the road, onto homes, onto power lines. They had many power outages too. That line is out, but we do have problems. So I put the roads on here. We talked about the severe storms possible in the high plains, but you also have heavy rain and flash flooding possible today from Texas all the way up through Missouri. So if you're traveling, say, I-40, you'll want to watch that. Through the mid-Atlantic and southeast, today you're going to have some rain on those roads. And then quick look at Friday, we do introduce more severe storms in the plains and then showery all throughout the southeast, guys.
All right, Ginger, they could use those rains on the West Coast where the wildfire, the 14,000 of evacuations in Southern California. Trevor Ault is in Simi Valley, California with the latest. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. And this has been a several days long battle for California firefighters. The family that lives in this home watched their house of 40 years absolutely torched as this wildfire raced down the hill so quickly the flames were already at their back door before they even knew that a wildfire had sparked.
Overnight, wildfires raging across Southern California, forcing thousands of evacuations. The Sandy Fire in Simi Valley now scorched more than 2,100 acres just 30 miles from Los Angeles. That fast-moving fire has threatened neighborhoods. This time-lapse video shows the race to escape, the winds howling, smoke and embers flying as families grab what they could, the sky turning orange, headlights barely visible as they pulled away and disappeared. Randy Biles' doorbell camera alerted him that the fire was nearby and his wife was still inside.
It was so smoky you couldn't see through here. It was really bad. That's why I didn't know she wasn't here.
Officials have been trying to gain the upper hand on these fires for days. Calmer winds have helped, but firefighters are still battling hotspots in rugged terrain.
We're constantly monitoring weather. There's communications happening between the different divisions and making assessments of where the fire is going to move.
The Bain Fire in Riverside County, burning nearly 1,500 acres. 3 people suffering smoke inhalation, another taken to a hospital with traumatic injuries. And nearby, the Verona Fire, destroying at least 3 structures.
And conditions have been slowly improving, helping firefighters start to get the upper hand. The Sandy Fire here is now 22% contained, but new fires are sparking up every day. Guys.
And that is a major concern. Trevor, thank you. Now to the Justice Department, charging former Cuban President Raul Castro with murder in the deadly shoot-down of 2 civilian planes in 1996. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Miami with the latest for us. Good morning to you, Pierre.
Robin, good morning. For many Cuban Americans, especially here in Miami, these charges were 30 years in the making. The critical question now is what happens next.
This morning, the Trump administration is turning up the heat on the Cuban government as DOJ unseals murder and conspiracy charges against Cuba's former president, Raul Castro, the brother of longtime dictator Fidel Castro.
We are announcing an indictment charging Raul Castro and several others with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals.
The charges involve the 1996 shoot-down of 2 humanitarian planes by Cuban MiG fighter jets. 4 killed, among them 3 Americans.
What steps are the U.S. willing to take to get him back here?
Well, we indict men outside of this country all the time, and there's all kinds of different ways that we get them here.
Raul Castro took the reins of the Cuban government after his brother Fidel became in poor health. Now 94 years old, he's been out of office for years, but still remains a powerful figure.
Why now? Was there a breakthrough in this case?
The acting attorney general declining to say why charges are being brought now.
Well, I cannot explain or justify why now as opposed to 2 decades ago or 30 years ago when it happened.
The indictment marks a major escalation in the U.S.'s ongoing pressure campaign to achieve regime change of the island nation's communist-led government. Earlier this year, the United States raided Venezuela, taking into custody that country's dictator, Nicolas Maduro.
Today, Cuba's government calling the indictment a farce based on lies to justify military aggression. And Cuban officials say any military move will be met with fierce resistance. George?
Okay, Pierre, thanks. The latest fallout now from President Trump's $1.8 billion taxpayer fund to compensate his political allies. 2 police officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th are suing to stop it. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the story. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Georgia. Nearly every aspect of this fund has been unprecedented. The administration isn't ruling out that January 6th rioters convicted of attacking police officers could receive taxpayer payouts, and now 2 of those officers are suing to stop that. This morning, 2 police officers who defended the Capitol against a violent mob on January 6th now suing to stop the Justice Department from giving payouts to the rioters who attacked them. Their lawsuit calling the president's new $1.8 billion fund a taxpayer-funded slush fund to finance the insurrectionists and paramilitary groups that commit violence in his name. One of the officers suing, Daniel Hodges, seen here crying out as he's crushed in a doorframe. What message do you think it sends?
It sends that if you commit violence in Donald Trump's name, that you will be protected legally, you will be rewarded financially, and that is his way of keeping these people on retainer for the next time he wants to influence the course of history with mass violence.
Hodges is among the roughly 140 officers injured that day. Harry Dunn was also assaulted as he fought to protect the Capitol. He too is suing and tells me this new fund is a slap in the face.
This is taxpayer money that is being used, and taxpayers don't want to pay for this. They damn sure don't want to reward the people that were responsible for one of the darkest days in American history, and that's what Donald Trump is doing, essentially rewarding them.
But the president says the fund is needed to pay people he claims were mistreated by the Biden Justice Department. Roughly 600 people were charged with obstruction or assaulting police officers in connection with January 6th. At least 170 pleaded guilty, and dozens others were found guilty by juries. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche brushing off concerns that people who were convicted of hurting police may get a taxpayer payout.
Just to be clear, people that hurt police get money all the time.
But on Capitol Hill, a growing number of Republicans outraged.
I don't support it. I think you can't do that.
If someone is damaged by the federal government right now, there is already a process in place to be able to get restitution for that. So, yeah, we've got a lot of questions.
I think it's irresponsible. It sends a signal, hey, go breach the Capitol, destroy the building, assault police officers, you may even get compensated for someday. That's absurd.
And one of the president's longtime allies is already trying to benefit from this fund. Former Trump official Michael Caputo filing the first known claim. He's requesting $2.7 million, claiming he was targeted by the FBI's probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election. George.
And Mary, this deal also protects the president's family from paying for any tax violations by them. But at the same time, we have new polling showing that more Americans than ever are worried about how the president is handling the economy and their financial situation.
Yeah, exactly, George. And in fact, the president's approval rating for his handling of the economy is now at the lowest point of either of his terms, according to a new Quinnipiac poll, with 33% approving and 64% disapproving. And when it comes to those rising gas prices, 55% of voters said they blame the president a lot for the pain at the pump. George.
Mary Bruce, thanks, Michael.
All right, George, now to an alarming new report from the Surgeon General about the danger of screen time for kids. ABC's Sophie Flay has the details. Good morning, Sophie.
Michael, good morning. According to that report, some children are spending more time on devices than they do sleeping or attending school. The Surgeon General calling the dangers of too much screen time an urgent public health issue. Surveys show most teens average 8 or more hours per day in front of screens. Experts say even toddlers are spending multiple hours a day in front of a screen, setting up potential mental health issues or poor developmental outcomes. So the report recommends children younger than 18 months, no screen time, under 6, less than 1 hour per day, and kids ages 6 to 18, 2 hours per day. The main message from this report, live real life, both at home and at school. Experts say parents should lead by example, creating regularly scheduled time without the screens. Guys.
All right, Sophie, our thanks to you. And now to Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers and what he just announced about his career, Sam.
All right, good morning, and here we go. Let's enjoy Aaron Rodgers while we have him, because he says this season will definitely be his last in the NFL. Rodgers turns 43 in December, making him one of the oldest quarterbacks to play in the league. Now, we all thought he had taken his last snap with the Pittsburgh Steelers when they lost the playoffs in January. But then came the news that Pittsburgh hired his former longtime Packers head coach, Mike McCarthy. Rodgers decided to give it one more go after talking with Steelers top staff and a lot of conversations with his wife. He says he signed a one-year contract worth up to $25 million to play for that coach that took him to the Super Bowl following the 2010 season. But it is just 1 year, and when asked Wednesday if this would be his last season, he confirmed, quote, saying, yes, this is it. Rodgers added the idea of playing for McCarthy again after 13 seasons in Green Bay is part of the appeal. Rodgers is a 4-time league MVP and one of the most prolific passers in NFL history, among the top 5 in almost every statistical category. See, I said statistical. And now we get to see him one more season. This is his 22nd, the culmination of a career that will certainly end up with a place in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he'll be in the Hall.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, without a question.
Thank you,
Sam, you've gotten so good at with this sports stuff?
You know,
it was all seamless.
It's like riding a bike, George.
Let's stick with sports. NBA playoffs last night.
Tricycle.
A unicycle.
Right to it because we have a lot to talk about, and I've been told not a lot of time. So let's get to it. The defending champs were a bit on the ropes coming into Game 2, needing a win at home before heading to San Antonio, and they did it, baby. Their star, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, said he had to be better after losing Game 1, and he was more than better. The MVP scoring 30 points, adding 9 assists in a hard-fought Game 2. Victor Wembanyama had another big night with 21 points and 17 rebounds, but it just wasn't enough to steal a second road win for the Spurs. Now, both of these teams are leaving it all on the court, as you've seen, and they are paying the price. The Thunder lost guard Jalen Williams to a hamstring issue, and Spurs guard Dylan Harper also left the game with a right leg injury. We'll see if they can return for Game 3. That's tomorrow night in San Antonio. And what do the Knicks and the Cavs have in store for us tonight after that monumental comeback in Game 1? Tuesday's game, something to behold. New York down 22 points with less than 8 minutes to go, and they somehow came all the way back to tie the game and then win it in overtime. As you know, we're not gloating, but kind of. We know the fans loved it. Will they be celebrating again tonight, or can the Cavs bounce back after having victory snatched from them in brutal fashion? We will find out. Game 2 begins 8 Eastern on ESPN, guys.
It'll be a good one.
Gotta be great.
Okay, thank you.